Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
That confirms it. It is indeed Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. And just as I alluded to last week, thankfully, we're getting back to not only beer, but some big old badass beers that I did get down there to the cellar and find over, I guess it was last weekend at this point. I just popped from Oscar Blues the Ten Fidy. And you got the Ten Fidy as well, right?
Yes, indeed.
So your Ten Fidy is the just OG Imperial Stout, right?
yes,
What is it?
10.5 ABV.
10.5%. Well, mine, because I'm the one that went and got the beer, so I'm allowed to have the barrel aged one. So this is the I'm guessing it's pretty much the same as yours, but it's aged. And you guessed it, bourbon barrels, 12.5% alcohol by volume. It's going to be one of those shows, Nate.
So I'm assuming with that they just took the 1050 original and
1050.
put it in bourbon barrels. But I feel as if we need to kind of, before we enjoy what promises to be a delicious show, not that last week's wasn't delicious, I feel like we need to recap. I'm still like having lingering
You still sick?
trauma.
Sick to your stomach? Yeah.
It was so tasty, but God, it was bad.
I knew it was going to be a rough one, and I was going to feel pretty sick and get a bit stomachy because of all the sugar and whatnot. I didn't know it was going to be that bad. You can't drink.
No.
I don't know if I could even stomach one of those things. And of course, we had 4 of them split 2 ways, but that was rough. And I did look up, I did find the nutrition. One of them had the nutrition facts on it. I can't remember which one it was, like maybe the twisted tea or something, but no, it was the other one. I don't know. Either way, I looked at the Still Reserve Alloy series, and one of those cans was almost 600 calories, and I think it had a total of like 65 carbs
Yeesh.
in one can, and it didn't even list the sugar
They weren't
because
gonna bother. It was too high to count.
yeah.
It was
Either way,
ooh.
I'm good on
I
that.
don't-
I'm good on that stuff for a
I
while.
feel like that wouldn't have set me back like when I was in college and when I was younger, but maybe I got a heartburn. I don't get heartburn. What the hell?
It's different. Those are young. Those drinks are a young man's game. The tea, I think, if it was just the tea, I could probably have done
would
it.
have been fine.
But even still, maybe not.
I'm willing to go ahead and blame all of the issues I had on the Steel Reserve.
The Alloy series.
That
blue
color,
raz.
the color did not look good.
Yeah. So we're switching it back. We're getting back to the basics, which is just good old big badass beers. So I'm actually like kind of I'm
Warming your
caressing.
glass.
I'm caressing the glass because this is stuff that I was looking on the can, and I don't see a lot of stuff of this caliber. Usually will say serve, at maybe 45 degrees or whatever would be optimal temperature. I think this stuff is a lot colder than we probably would want to drink it. So I'm kind of trying to warm it up. The next round is going to be similar. So I went ahead and pulled that stuff out now. So it'll warm up as we're doing and drinking these bad boys. But I think this is going to be a delicious beer. I mean, Oscar Blues, where do you stand on? I mean, I know Dale's Pale Ale, that was always Huck's like go-to craft beer. I'm not the biggest fan of Dale's Pale Ale, but it's respectable, I guess.
It's weird. It's not something that I seek out, but everyone I've had is decent.
Yeah.
I'll get it if it's there. I know the last time I actually bought Dale's, we were down at the beach this summer and they had a sampler pack. I was like, all right, well, I'll grab a sampler pack of this because most of the beach beers are like they're all proud of this like line. It was at the Food Lion. They're all proud of this Line and Kugel summer shandy sampler pack. And I was like, well, I don't want that. That's not going to do what I need. I need
Depends on
something
the-
a little stronger.
It depends on the time of the year with the shandies. But I feel like the last time I bought Dale's, I was in Colorado, and I think I actually went to, I might have, because that's where it's from. I think I might have went there. Maybe that was part of it. But either way, I just knew in the back of my head it's a good go-to because I remember Huck always saying that. And I went to go pick out some beer. We were going to go to like a concert, I think at Red Rocks, and wanted
Nice.
to tailgate and whatnot. And my cousin, I guess, just sort of left it to me because I was like, "Oh, I'll run and get beer. What do you want?" He's like, just get, whatever, man. I mean, you're the beer guy. So I'm there. I'm looking. I see a 12-pack of Dale's. I was like, "All right, this will be easy. We're just day drinking." I get it. And not only did he, but also the guy we were with, they're both immediately like, "You got Dale's?" Like they were so bummed. They're like, "That was the one beer that I probably would have not wanted you to get." I was like, "Well, you should have said something."
More
I
for
mean,
me.
yeah. So not everybody likes Dale's. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but
Yeah, I don't have an opinion either way on it. And that's
Hmm.
and I have a hard time with it. It's not memorable enough to like stay in my
it's
wheelhouse.
just, yeah, it's nothing.
It's exactly what
pale
you,
ale.
yeah, it's exactly what you promised.
See, that's the other thing that I mentioned. Huck always liked it, but that's his favorite style of beer. I'm not a big pale ale guy.
Well, that's the other thing with Dale's Pale Ale. You're just as good getting a 12-pack of Rolling Rock, and it's going to be cheaper.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know if I'd have them exactly in the same wheelhouse, but I probably would. I guess I would reach for the Dale's over a Rolling Rock, but I'm not sneezing out a Rolling Rock. Last time I had a Rolling Rock, I'm like, oh, yeah, these are better than I remember. So
I do like a good Rolling Rock.
yeah, you have a good weekend.
Uh,
I feel like I haven't seen you since.
yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, you've been. Our paths just haven't really been
We've
crossing.
been passing like ships in the
Yeah.
night. Yeah, we had a decent weekend. Decorated for Halloween yesterday. Fell off a ladder
It took you
the other day.
You just waited till now. I thought that isn't the
Well,
wife?
we did the interior decoration, but we hadn't gotten the outside stuff done yet, and that requires me to be up on a ladder.
Wait, this. I mean, I'm surprised. You see stuff popping up earlier and earlier. Like Halloween's almost getting not quite Christmas level, but I'm surprised. I would think October 1st it's on. I think that's fair. October is Halloween's month, and you can get
Yeah.
the most. You get your whole month worth bang out of your 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot or whatever.
100% agree. What it came down to is, and I didn't realize it, we've been busy like every weekend this month. We've only got one free weekend, and mercifully, it's the weekend before Halloween, and we're gonna fully celebrate. But between my daughter's birthday or anniversary coming up and everything, and I looked at the calendar on Friday, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, I've got to get these decorations up now. We are way late."
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had pumpkins out, but that's because we went to the pumpkin patch on the last day of September. So we are fully in the spirit. It's just the house decor was lacking.
Well, we're done decorating because we just don't do it. And so
That
that's
12-foot
done.
skeleton from Home Depot looks great.
Yeah, no,
Get some more
it's
decorations.
pretty
there.
easy. We don't do any of it really. I guess I have maybe a Christmas wreath that I might be throw on the door, but we don't do any decorations at all.
We
Just
have
makes life easier.
we have seasonal
Bah humbug.
flowers.
Yeah.
Seasonal fake flowers that sit on our island, and my wife loves them, and it takes 2 seconds to put them out, so whatever. But it cracks me up like when she decides like, "Oh, fall's coming. Let's go ahead and put these fall flowers out." It was the middle of August. I was like, "Yeah, fall's coming in like 2 months."
It's weird. It's one of those things where, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just a guy and I don't do the home decor stuff. I don't care. And I guess my wife's not into it. So that's cool. It's easy. We save money on, and you don't have to find places, go up in the attic, dig stuff out. That being said, anytime I go over to like my parents' house where, they've been together for decades, they've collected quite a plethora of seasonal decorations over the many, many years. So it's always every season, there's Easter decorations. I mean, everything you can think of. And it's always kind of like, it's nice because then it just reminds you,
Yeah.
it's this time of year. Like, of course, when Christmas rolls around, that's when it's really warms your heart. But at the same time, it's nice, but it's like it's also nice that I don't have to do all that stuff.
The biggest one for me is the smell, the wax warmers.
Mm-hmm.
I do change those out pretty regularly, and we've got an organized box in our kitchen of just like different seasons, and nothing beats my favorite though is like when we roll out those spring scents because it's like honeysuckle, lavender, like a lot of those like flowery scents, or rainy day I think is one of them, which I don't know what the hell that's supposed to smell like, but it doesn't smell like a rainy day.
Smells much nicer.
Yeah, it's definitely much nicer, but that's my biggest thing. That's when I know. And I think it's because growing up, my mom, and still to this day, always had just a ridiculous amount of wax melts going. And we've definitely had people visit my mom's house and be like, this is overwhelming. How do you live here? I like it. I mean, mine's not as extreme as hers. Like she would have them in the kitchen. So like if you're cooking dinner and then you're just smelling.
Oh yeah, they're blending.
And she would always do like food wax melts in the kitchen. So it's like I'm making chili. Why am I smelling warm pumpkin pie?
It smells
what
like
the hell are we
it smells
doing?
like cream cheese icing.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do like the scents. Sometimes they can be a bit over, but I guess you get used to it, you know. I mean, but it can be quite nice. Speaking of scents, man, I don't know. I'm scared to go in my basement because there was a smell the last time I went down there. I don't know. I think something died down there. I don't know what it is. So I'm hoping the next time I go down the basement, it'll just be gone and it will sort itself out. But man, I do not want to have to figure that out.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that because I've had experiences with your basement, and there was a smell at one point, and it was a rotting mess of earwigs. They had gotten trapped.
Oh, okay. It could be that.
And it was the foulest thing about it. Like I've
Where
been
was
around
Where
dead
were
animals before. I've smelled them. They were okay. So like you know how you've got that ledge behind the washer and dryer?
Mm-hmm.
There was like a Rubbermaid container that was sitting up there, and they had gotten like stuck under it. And then they had just like formed it was disgusting.
How did you find it? Did you just follow your nose?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I did. I was like, I've got to find this. What the hell's going on here?
Oh man,
because that was my thought. Is like, there's something dead down here. I've got to get the hell out of the house.
We definitely have. You know, there's earwigs. There's no question. So, oh man, that would be a rough one to find.
Growing up, I feel like I never saw an earwig, but ever since moving to Radford,
they're about
insane.
Yeah, they're about. Oh, that's fun to think about.
I mean, mercifully, it was just earwigs. So I was like, all right, well, this is easy to clean, and it's not like a dead. I did have to pick a dead cat out of the woods beside our house the other week. That was not fun.
At least it wasn't in the basement.
Yeah, that's very true.
There you go. Silver lining on that.
But we also use our basement as like a living space. So
oh yeah,
it'd be really bad if there was a dead. What the hell? How'd you get in here?
You have the finished basement luxury. Yeah, that'd be bad to find a dead cat there. I guess it's bad to find a dead cat anywhere. We digress. We're drinking big old Oscar Blues, the Ten Fidy. I don't know a whole lot about the Ten Fidy series. I just noticed when I was over at the Cellar, I just saw like some awesome black cans. And if you're ever at the Cellar, you know, there's rows and there's beers on both sides and then the ends. So particularly, I've noticed that the first two, I guess, end aisles or whatever, those racks are the ones where it's the big, gnarly, awesome stuff. So that's usually where I find a lot of the best stuff over at the Cellar. And this was on the end, black can, so it caught my eye. And I saw that there was two different ones. I was like, that's a perfect round. One for me, one for Nate.
It's almost criminal when I go in there. Like I have a really hard time. Like I'll get into that second aisle, and then by then it's like, all right, well, I've blown my budget. We're done here.
Well, that's the thing.
Because I will have like 3 6-packs. I'm just trying to like finagle my way out.
I don't think I've been to the third aisle in forever because yeah, you're right. I always just I have.
It's where Mikey keeps the really good stuff.
I grab
don't know.
You grab the 6-pack to build your own, and then next thing you know, I've already done 4 or something. It's like, all right, I got to get out of here. I can't keep looking and delving through all the aisles looking for the beers I haven't had, because
We need to go in there and start from the back at some point.
that would be the smart thing to do. That's where like a lot of the foreign
Foreign beer-
imported beers and stuff is that I'm
Yeah.
just I'm not familiar with. So I don't even,
Yeah.
I might need to just ask Mikey to point me in the right direction with those, because I'm not as well versed. But at the same time, there's always so much other stuff that I really want to try. I digress. How you feeling about that Ten Fidy?
I mean, it's damn good. It's very smooth. You can't tell it's a 10.5. I think you could pretty easily pound a few of these and then be in some trouble. It's delicious. I'm intrigued to see how different the barrel aged one is, because this is delicious.
I'm intrigued to taste that one, because you said that you can't tell it's a high. See, this one, and maybe it is the bourbon that you're picking up, and then you just know it's going to be a higher ABV. But this, the barrel aged 1050, I can tell it has a high ABV, but it's still super smooth and just delicious. And the fact that you can taste the alcohol, that's one of the key things for me, specifically when it comes to a stout. If it's just a regular stout and not an imperial or a barrel aged or something, I'm not usually that fond of it. So this is just phenomenal. I mean, again, I'm wondering, it's probably, I've been trying to warm it up this whole time. It might be a little cooler, so you might even enjoy better that we've been blabbing for 15 minutes or whatever at this point. But this is still just delicious. I mean, coming out swinging. Back to the basics. I'm giving this one a 5. The 1050 barrel aged Oscar Blues, so damn good.
This is a 4.75.
Because you know that this one's
I think
probably
that one's
slightly
getting better,
better.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll step aside. We'll play a tune. I'll try, and I think this is gonna be one of those shows, man. Obviously, this is big beers. So we started with the 1050 series, which are obviously pretty big. I have Founders KBS. Now, I've had the regular KBS. This is some variations that I had just noticed at the cellar. I was like, oh, I have not had those before, so we're going to have to give them a shot.
I don't think I've had the
regular
regular KBS. I've
I've
had a
probably
couple of the
done that on-
variations. Maybe we did.
I've had it, so I'm assuming we would have done that on the show. It could have been maybe at a bottle share, but I would imagine we drank those on the show. But who knows? Maybe it was back in the Huck days. I don't know.
Oh,
Either way, we digress. We'll step aside. We'll play a tune. We'll come back. We're going to drink more beer. Why? Because it's Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.